everyone and welcome to our channel. In today's video we are going to continue with the part 2 of Introduction to Journalism. So having looked at what we call the journalism, having looked at the definition, having looked at what it entails to be a journalist, and having looked at the the determinants of news, today I want us to look at what we call the news elements. So what a news story should have. Number one thing is what we call accuracy. This is the quality or the state or the writer of being precise or exact in terms of name and data presentation in the news. Write correctly the names, their place of all residence, any other information that you are given. Give the exact figures without manipulation of these facts. Number two is attribution. Attribution means crediting the story to a source. All information and statements except most of the evidence must be attributed to the source of the material. So a difference exists between radio and the newspaper, the attribution. So for the newspaper it is what was said by who, but for radio it is who said what. Then number three is what we call the balance and fairness. By balance you mean that both sides both sides in a controversy must be given their say. In a political campaign, all candidates should be given enough space and time to present their points. So you have to ensure that you balance. Both sides must be given equal opportunity. By being fair, we mean, or by fairness, we mean that all the parties involved in a story, in a controversy, must be given equal time, must be given more so if there is allegations. Somebody has mentioned something or has made an allegation against another friend or another person. Before you go on air, try as much as possible to reach out to the other person because he has a right to reply, right of reply. The person must be reached out. So you ask him, this is what we have so and so say about you, what do you have to say it? Never go on air before you reach out to the person whose names must have been mentioned in allegation or in a story that you have. That is why you hear the journalist saying that until we went to the press, or by the time we're going to the press, we had not reached out to him because he or she was not receiving our calls, nor was she responding to our texts. 4 is what we call brevity. News writing is the art of knowing what to leave out and what to condense, what to leave out, what to incorporate. So try as much as possible to be very brief. Don't avoid the verbosity. Avoid excessive use of words which in the long run confuse the listeners. So the subject, verb or object structure helps to cut the sentence to the bone. Use action verbs. Avoid adverbs and adjectives which are going to add no information to your story. They are going to just increase the number of words. So try as much as possible to be very brief. Clarity, number 5. Ability to write clear and interesting stories is a valuable skill. Tax rates, budget, etc. must be translated into everyday English. Try to be very simple. Simplicity is a virtue. Simplicity is a journalistic virtue that need not to be ignored. Use simple words. Use simple sentence structures. Avoid the complex structures. Avoid ambiguity. Be crystal clear so that the listeners can actually get what you are saying. Then the people-centered information or the stories that you do must be about people. The human interest. Readers like the human angles to a story. Try as much as possible, even if it's a volcanic eruption, if it's about locust inversion, try to ask yourself, how can I use or make this story interesting to the people? how is it about people? Try to look at that angle. So it's about the locust inversion. Try to look at the effect of the locust inversion on the people's life. Just before we proceed to the next item, please subscribe, like, comment, and share the video with your friends. To those who have already subscribed, we are very much indebted to you. We promise not to let you down. We promise to continue uploading more educating videos like this so that we can all grow together. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you and welcome once again. Number 8 is what we call identification. This means identifying people you are writing about so that readers and listeners can visualize and locate and identify these people. So there should be proper identification of the people that you are involved or people that you are writing about in your story. Number 9 is what we call focus or the news point. Every story must have a focus. There must be a theme in every story. So don't write a story with several themes. Try to narrow it down to a specific theme so that it becomes very easy for the listeners or the audience to understand what you are saying. Then second last is what we call objectivity. Objective journalism attempts to present a complete report that is not colored by the opinion of the writer or the reporter, so thereby avoiding conflict of interest. So as a journalist, yes, you are a human being, you can have your point of view, but try to get out your opinions out of the story. Let us not even see the traces of the opinion. Let us not have opinionated stories being written to or by you as a journalist. Lastly is verification. Before you go on air, before you go to press with your story, ensure that you verify, ensure that your information that you give is exact story the way it was. Double check, take your time and ensure that whatever you are giving is the truth, nothing but the truth. I want us to talk about what we call the sources of news for the reporter. So reporter and the news collection or the gathering. So as a reporter, you are going to get news from the newsroom. The newsroom, how do you get the news from the newsroom? We normally have what we call press release. So a press release will always be sent to the media organization by various institutions. They send what we call a copy. A copy refers to any document sent to the media organizations to be considered for publication. So taarifa kwa vyombo vya habari kwa Kiswahili. So this is what we call a press release, which is sent to the media organization to be considered for publication. At the same time, we normally have what we call the studio diary or the newsroom diary. So in the newsroom diary, they have what to cover on a particular day. Maybe there's invitation to go capture an event or go cover a rally or whatever function it is, or a press conference. You will normally receive invitation. So what we call the assignment editor will normally assign journalists or reporters to go and capture or go cover such kind of stories. Number 2 is what we call and contacts. As a reporter, having established or having created and maintained the contacts with various people, it's always advisable that you frequently call them asking for anything that must have happened in their beats or in their areas which can be considered newsworthy. We have number 3 is what we call the tip-offs. So normally journalists, more so for the investigative stories, they will always receive tip-offs from the society, from these listeners. They can make phone calls, they can just make a visit, or they can reach out to you whenever, if you are doing a story in the field, they can reach out to you. So the best thing to be or to do as a journalist is to remain social. Don't chase anybody who can be coming to you, could be coming to you. So this person, you never know what he has. He could be giving you a tip-off which you can follow up with to ensure that the story is written to conclusion. The number 4 is monitoring the mass media. So as a journalist, nobody has originality of wisdom or of information. Find it or make it a practice that you watch various television stations, you browse internet, move online, you listen to various radio stations, read various newspapers so that you can get the information. So thank you for watching up to that particular end. I'm grateful for you for having taken your time to watch the news. So I will